up, y'all? Welcome to Tellem Tage podcast, where we discuss fatherhood, parenting, financial literacy, and just overall growth in a man or woman, for that matter. Today we got a special guest, a good friend of mine, a business partner of mine, my longest business partner that I've had since I've been a business owner. And without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. My boy Kalichi Fades. What's up, my guy?
What's up, my boy?
Yes, sir. Good to have you here. First of all, tell us your government name, and then tell us your alias, your barber name, and how you got the name.
What's up, my people? My name is Humberto Sebreros, or as known in the barber industry as Kalichi Fades. I've been barbering for around 5 years continuously, and I've been here with Tage, the past 3 years of that. Ever since I became licensed, I've been working with my boy, and he's the first one to open a door for me, And I knocked several before, and he was one of the ones that I saw a lot of potential. I saw a lot of opportunity with him, and that's why I took that decision.
Yes. Appreciate you, brother. Like always. So we'll get right into the questions because you got a good story. Like I said, I got a good story. You got a good story. That's why I chose you first. He was the very first barber. Not the very first. He was the second barber. Crystal was the first. Betho was the second barber to come fuck with me over there at the Culture, and he's been there ever since. He's been my longest running barber. He's been there through thick and thin, through break-ins, through fights and arguments and quits and people just. So I really appreciate you for that, and I love your work ethic, brother.
Thank you, bro.
So where are you actually from? Like where?
I'm from Culiacan, Sinaloa. It's a place in Mexico, but I've been here half of my life. I was born and raised over there, but half of my life out here. I'm about to hit the 14th year.
14th year. So you went to high school there and here.
Yeah, I did 8th grade here and then all high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you came straight to Oceanside?
I came here straight to Vista. I stayed in Vista since then and never did until right now, when I recently purchased a home this past year. So that's when I took the decision to move.
V-Town.
Right.
How did you get into barbering? Like, how did you start it?
So for barbering, for me, I got into it, bro, because of my dad. One day he bought a machine on the garage sale.
Right.
And I remember he came in and I'm not going to say that, we didn't want to, but it was a surprise for me. He's like, right. Here's a machine. You're going to cut my hair. He's a number 2 and he wanted a skin fade.
So when you say machine, you mean a clipper?
Yeah, clipper.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you bought a clipper.
I used to go with the Bic and shave them off and then start fading it with the machine he had bought me from the garage sale,
So your dad was your very first client?
Yeah, he was my first client. I'm not going to say he forced me, of course, but it was just one thing that maybe we were going through like a little hard time or whatever, but he would give me some money so I can go get a fresh cut, know?
Right.
And I was, ever since I got here from Mexico, I always wanted to get the lineup. I wanted to get like the eyebrows done and all that. Cause over there it wasn't the thing, But when I got here, for me it was like, I want to go and try it out,
Right.
Yep.
So your dad was your first client. Is he still a client today?
Still client today. Still getting free haircuts since then.
Dad, you got to pay up.
I think I owe him more than that. I owe him more than that though. He's doing a lot for me.
So you started first barbering, that was high school or that was middle school? Or?
Well, that would be probably, I would say I was like a freshman in high school when he came in with the machine.
So right around the time you got to California.
Yeah, around there. But like I said, never thought I was going to be a barber. Never really thought it was going to be like something that was going to give me the bread of every day,
Right.
But at that time, like I said, I just did it because he came in with it and I tried it. I never intended, like I said, but he pushed me a little bit.
What barber school did you go to?
West Coast Barber College.
Here in Oceanside. Nice. Who has taught you the most about barbering since you've been barbering?
Since I've been barbering, honestly, at the beginning, and not to speak about myself, but there was not like the YouTube. There was YouTube, but I didn't have a computer.
You didn't have the knowledge to go look on that.
So it was self-taught.
Self-taught.
Just started grabbing the clippers, started flicking, fading. Try and error. And as the time passed, I started going to school, to high school, and I started getting a hand in a computer, and I started watching YouTube.
Right.
And a YouTube video here, YouTube video there, but never, like I said, just try and error, And other than that, after that, when I got to school, I could say Travis, my instructor.
Shout out Travis.
Shout out to Travis. I think he's one of the biggest persons, one of the biggest images, because when I got in there, I knew what I wanted to do, but I feel like he put me a little bit more in place.
Right. Travis is one of my mentors too. Shout out West Coast Barber College.
Of course.
Here in Oceanside, California.
Shout out to my boy Travis.
Trav taught me how to go fast, baby.
Yep.
What goals are you pursuing right now? And also, what goals have you accomplished since you've been barbering, you said 5 years?
5 years continuously now.
And in 3 years,
3 years full
professionally.
Time. Yeah, I'm about to hit my 3-year mark.
So been a licensed pro for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What goals have you, let's start with what goals have you accomplished in the 3 years?
In the 3 years that I have right now barbering, I accomplished, one thing I want to say, freedom. From my 9 to 5. There's nothing bad about having a 9 to 5, but I feel like that's just the ladder to get to where you want to be. You just got to be focused.
Right. No more having to punch in and be here at 9 to 5 and clock out.
Yes.
What else?
After that, I would say I started believing more in myself. And after believing more in myself, like really believing it that I could do it, I purchased a home. That was one of the biggest.
Purchased a home. Yeah. A whole home in 3 years of cutting hair.
Of course, yes. And that was my, and I say of course because that was my goal. That was something I was like, what is that? The song, Tunnel Vision?
Tunnel Vision.
That was my vision, and I mean, I've done it, it's as crazy as it sounds, I've done it. Of course, there's more work that was put a little before those 3 years, in order to get there. But I'm honest, what I've saved to invest in my house is from barbering, it's from years, of putting it in work too, and all the type of jobs and all hard work,
Y'all listen to that. My guy bought a house in 3 years of cutting hair, and that's it. No drug selling, no.
Nothing like that. No.
And your wife, does she work?
My wife does not work. That's another big accomplishment that I could say too, that I get to have my wife at my house with my kids.
Right.
I don't have to leave my kids in a place where I don't really know who's taking care of them. Or even if I do, you never know, so who's better to be there
than the parent, than the mom. That's big.
That's a big accomplishment too.
Because here in California, people are always saying you need joint incomes. This person's got to make this amount. This person's got to make this amount for you to even have a home. Mm-hmm. So you're saying you bought a home within 3 years, just cutting hair, no side, nothing. Oh, the merch.
My merch, but I use it more for promotion. Like I said, I mostly focus on the hair cutting. And yeah, now, like I said, with my third baby that came in, it was also getting too expensive, because when my wife was working, honestly, all the money almost was going either to help me out with the gas for her car and then to take care the childcare,
Nice,
so
nice.
So
you purchased a home. You definitely got financial freedom. You got freedom for yourself.
Yes.
And freedom for your wife. Man, that's big. That's super big.
Thank God.
That's a big deal. I mean, I know people that have been barbering, shots to nobody, but 10 years, and they don't have an apartment.
Yeah, and which, not to disrespect, it was one of the things that before, like I said, I knew about haircutting, but it never really gave me the drive because there was nothing really there for me to say, there was no example. No really good example. One guy that I could say, and I give shout out to this barbershop too, because it is where I started catching more with like attention to how a face should look, Right. It was Goodfellas.
Oh, the guy that had a shop in Vista, right?
Yes. And then shout out to the guy Jordan too. He was the owner at that time. Louis Merla. He was in that shop.
That were part of Elegance, right? Or somebody was
Motive. He had his own brand, Motive.
Nice,
and
nice.
my boy Valdo from Main Studio too. Shout out to my boy. He was there too since then. And I remember getting haircuts there, waiting for a minute, you know, to get a haircut either by one of them. I remember the guy, somebody Ligero was there too. I don't remember what happened to him, but rest in peace. You know, something does happen, but did happen to him. But after that, some other guy that was there, Pay the Fade too, started working there too. And several guys that I've looked, and then like I said, I've seen how the barber industry has changed, you know, behind the scene. And now that I'm in the scene, I'm glad to be able to provide a good example, you know?
Right. So to an upcoming barber that's trying to follow behind you, right, or follow your footsteps, what steps or what's the process to being able to buy a whole home in 2-3 years?
Rephrase it again.
Like, what would a person have to do to buy a home in 2 to 3 years? Cutting hair and just cutting hair only. Like, what attributes would they need? What would they have to do?
Starting, yes, you got to worry about quality in your haircut, but you also got to worry about customer service and promotion. Because if you have a good product and you don't know how to sell it, then you're not doing anything, you know? If you have if you have the way to talk to the people, I'm not gonna say that you gotta talk. It's gotta be a balance, because everything's a balance, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But you gotta balance the efficiency in cutting hair and talking to them too, you know. And I feel like that's one of the things that's took me where I'm at right now. And I always say this: I know where I'm standing and I know where I'm going. I don't care if the person next to me is doing a little better or less. It's cool. I clap if they're doing good. If they're doing bad, if they ask me for the help, I go ahead and give the hand. But either or, I always keep focused. I have my tunnel vision.
Like you said.
I have a goal, you know. I came here for a reason. My parents brought me here not to mess up, you know. They left too much behind for me to mess up, you know.
That's how I feel. I'm Black and we come from slavery, and I always feel like I could have been born 50, 60 years ago and didn't even have a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now that I have a chance, why fuck it up on gangbanging or drug dealing or, you know, anything like that? So
my mom started working like around, I think, 9 years old in the field. And I think about it, and sometimes when I get tired or whatever, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not they did the sacrifice for me. Now I got to put in the work.
Got to put it, and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah, and I'm getting paid for it, you know?
So yeah, same story. Like, if I ever get tired, I think of slavery. Like, shoot, these people were in the cotton field and they were getting a nickel for the day. So here I am eating. Yeah. I got to be, you know, a little bit more grateful. So your parents are here in America now?
Yeah, they're here. They've been here since then. I was able to fix them up papers. And after 18 years without touching their homeland, you know, they were able to go back this past year.
Nice. So they were here illegally.
Yeah, they were here illegally.
And so they couldn't go back because then they might not be able to come back.
Yeah, we were all illegal. And also, too, thanks to my wife, which she's been a big help in my life. Ever since then, I unlocked another chapter, you know, once I became a citizen, you know, once she helped me out and fixed my papers, too, you know. And she knows I've been responsible since then. And I mean, she's not even working right now. She's at home taking care of the kids. You know, I'm paying back.
That's a goal that's hit right there.
Yep.
Just being able to bring your parents, or not bring your parents to America, but legalize them.
Yes.
And you did that.
That's probably one of the biggest achievements I've accomplished, you know, because I never thought it was going to be possible, because I would dream about it. But at the time I was like, me legal and then my parents? How are we going to go back, you know?
Right.
But... well, of course, we could go back, but the way to come back and work over here, it's a little expensive to cross, you know, the legal way, you know?
That's what's up, brother. That's good shit right there. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself in 5 years owning businesses, 1 or 2. As ambitious as it sounds, I feel like you just got to have a goal, you know?
Type of business? Barbershop?
Barbershop, and I'm open for any other type of business where there could be growth, you know, where it could be investment, you know? That's why I believe in saving, but also investing, you know?
Investing.
And I always say sometimes people bet on a boxer or they bet on a soccer play, but they don't bet on themselves. I bet here and there a little bit, but I think my name is the name that I bet the most in my image, and also in my name and in my barber school.
That's why we think alike, brother. If you're gonna spend money on Sugar Shane Mosley or anybody to knock somebody out, take that money and bet on yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Put that money actually on your name.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And stand for something, as opposed to trying to put it on somebody else to get a quick dollar.
Yep.
Good shit, brother. Good shit. Good shit. When have you grown the most in your life, and what caused the most growth?
2015 to be exact.
2015.
When my wife told me that she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Something in my head just clicked. Because before that, when she told me, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I probably had like $2,000 saved, the most. And everything that I had, it looked like I had money, but I had a big truck payment.
Right.
I was putting a lot of money into the truck, changing this, changing that, and wasting money on things that I didn't need to. And like I said, I'm not ashamed to say it, because once my wife told me that, I found a way, some type of way to change it, you know?
Right.
To be like, I gotta be responsible, you know? I gotta have something to give them. And I suggest that first you should have something to give them before, you know, start having kids.
Right.
Because it gets hard. But now, like, I learned the hard way, but I'm an example that I could say it's possible, but hey, do it the correct way, you know?
So you matured.
Yes.
You matured. Exact same story for me. Once my child's mother, not my wife, but once my child's mother told me that she was having a child and I was having a girl, it was, I got to ship in shape. You know what I mean? I got to get right. Like, it's no longer about us. Same story. I was just buying Chevy Caprices, fixing them up. Let's change this, change that. I don't even think I had $2,000, to be honest. So that's good shit. What did you do before you started barbering? Before you actually went to school to be a barber?
Before to be a barber, 5 years prior to that, I was working in a factory making doors and windows. I started making the doors and the windows at the beginning. It was in the hardware area, and then I always had that in me, that I always wanted to be like succeeding. You know, like what's next? You know, and I would ask, you know, hey, if I want to go up a little bit, like, what do I need to do? And they're like, whoa, there's only a chance to be a second outside. A second means like a second to lead.
Second assistant or whatever.
And then I was like, okay, send me outside. Have you ever drove a forklift? Then I'm like, yeah, I never drove a forklift. Have you ever done? Yeah. Everything I'll say yeah, just because I wanted
to get there.
To get there, you know? So I'll learn where I get there, you know? And that's one thing I did. After that was like the first 2 years. After being the second, one of the leads that was there, he had to take off. He moved to States. And then I had the chance. I mean, I had learned just enough to say, hey, I got it.
Right.
And I took the position. I took the
responsibility. So you moved from second to first.
I moved to second to first. And then the company started growing. We started getting more orders to send to Hawaii and different states here too. And I started being in charge of another area, which at the end, I ended up being a shipping and receiving lead. And I had people, you know, working with me, and everybody that's worked with me before, I mean, I have no problem with them. They're all cool with me. You've seen them going to the shop. Yeah. They all support me because, I mean, they've seen how I came, you know, and how I'm advancing. You know, I'm focused on what I'm trying to do. I always said it, you know, I'm very focused.
Did your family think you were crazy because you wanted to quit your job? How much money were you making at the time?
Around like 40 to 50.
And
56. I ended up getting 56.
56,000. And you quit.
I quit.
Cold turkey.
Yeah. That was my last year I did there. It was 56,000 around there in my taxes, I remember. And it was a big bet on myself, like I said, flipping that coin, you know, because I already had a lot of things to say I'm comfortable there.
Right,
you know?
right.
Even they were even paying for my phone line. They were, if I had to travel like to Arizona or some places, they'll pay for me to go.
So you easily could have got complacent, like got comfortable.
Yes,
and you said,
once I remember there was a little bracket that you hit once they do races, you know. I saw how my future would be in 2 to 3 years, and I said, do I want to see myself like this in 2 to 3 years, or do I throw this little coin again and try to play like a big boy and say I got it? And I did, I was like, I'm gonna flip the coin, I got it.
Right.
I'm focused, and I started, and like I said, I bet on my name, I bet on barbering, and this is where I'm at, bro, and it's been paying me since then.
So the flip of the coin got you to where you're at. They call it taking a leap of faith. You got to step out there, and if it happens, it happens. Walt Disney, like I was just telling my daughter, he filed bankruptcy 7 times, before he went to this big orange field and said, hey, let me build a park. And they thought he was crazy. And guess what? Now we got Disneyland, most expensive place on earth.
I feel like before you become good at something, you got to fail. You can't come in at something and say, oh, I did it 1 time, 2 times, or I knocked 2, 3, 4, 5 doors, and no, knock 100, knock 1,000, and if one opens, that's a win. If not, keep knocking 1,000 more.
You know who they say the best basketball player in the world is? Who's that? Michael Jordan, right? In high school, he got cut from the team. He wasn't good enough.
Something's got to push you, and as soon as you focus, like I always say, and you know what you want, you got to be able to do it,
You got to be able to go for it. Go for your dreams, but keep them realistic.
Of course, yes.
I always say that. Go for your dreams, but be realistic. I used to rap. I used to make music, and there's people always, hey, why don't you rap no more? You were good. And I always tell them, I got to be realistic. I'm in my 40s.
Yeah.
If it didn't happen by then, you got to be realistic, and and you can't get really too far if you're trying to use old keys to open up new doors. You know what I mean? You can't. I know people that then got out of prison 5, 6 years, and guess what they do? Go right back to doing the exact same thing that took them to prison. So, and I don't feel sorry for those people. Don't come calling me, please. Who are your favorite people to follow in the business, whether it be in person or whether it be on Instagram? And like, who do you look up to? Like, who, if you could say, hey, I want to be like this person, who would it be?
Honestly,
or people. It doesn't have to be one person.
Follow, mentality-wise, that I feel like I click a lot. I watched this entrepreneur, Mr. Tempo. I think I showed you the guy.
Mr. Tempo.
Yeah, he's
shout
becoming.
out Mr. Tempo.
I know. If you see in this podcast, shout out my boy. He's a big push.
We're gonna tag him
because as a Mexican guy, and you see another Mexican guy like this, that he's pushing people to do good, he motivates people, And honestly, when you ask me who do I look up to, personally, not that I want to be like them, because I feel like I've been more of my character, but I really look up to my parents for the sacrifices they're done to me.
Righteous.
And,
as you should.
Yeah, as I should,
As you should. Always look up to your parents. If you got good parents, I mean, shit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm blessed by that, because if I didn't, bro, I've learned a lot of the things that I know. I say it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint. It's just that I put a little bit more of the business side. My parents are more like work. And I'm like, work. And then what's next? Mm-hmm. How can I be in charge of this work?
Right.
How can I be, and then instead of in charge, the owner of this, Work
smarter, not harder.
Yes. So I feel like it's a blueprint that I have put, and I mentioned, I've molded this or shaped this character, little by little, which I still need a long way to go. But I feel like I have good people that have given me the hand and opened doors like you. And all the people that I work with, Steven, my boy Jose, Ari, Carly, Curtis, everybody Malachi, everybody that's there or that's been there before. I feel like it's good people that I feel like I've been around with that has, counted in the time that I've been in Barber.
Yeah, I see Ari just posted like yesterday that, he feels good because he's in a place where everybody wants to grow. And I will say that as the owner too, like there's people that came to the shop and I think they thought that, oh, I work for culture now, I'm about to make $100K.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to them that it doesn't come like that. You literally got to promote. So some of the guys that never posted before, I see them posting now. Yep. Some of the guys that never had flyers, they got flyers now. Never had stickers, got stickers now. And it's good that I got somebody like you so I don't only have to be the example, because shit, I mean, you've been cutting hair less than me, and I look to you sometime and be like, damn, I need to step my bars up. You know what I mean? People need an example, like my boy Belief said. People need to see it, and like you said, nobody has bought a house in 3 years, right? So if somebody sees this podcast, right, and says, okay, I'm gonna be a barber, my goal now is to get a house in 2 years, they know that it's possible because they've seen somebody do it in 3. They gotta see an example.
Of course, and I feel like if I've done it, I'm no different. I'm no better, than anybody, you know?
Than anybody. You just gotta grind.
You just gotta grind.
Tunnel vision.
And that's what's sometimes so crazy, that some people got the talent, but they just don't got the grind in them. They don't got the drive. They don't got the gas. They don't got the light.
The mindset.
They don't got the mindset, you know? And sometimes you can have the hands to fade or whatever and do a clean fade, sorry. But if you just don't have the mentality that you want it and you know what you want, honestly, you're not going to get anywhere, because you're just going to go in circles.
In circles, yeah. My barber teacher said, he told me, he said this in class, and it stuck with me. He said, this is one of the worst businesses if you have bad habits. Mm-hmm. The reason why, because you get paid every day. Every single day. So let's say you are a super bad alcoholic, super bad cocaine sniffer, whatever, lean sipper. You're going to have money for that every single day. And I won't say no names, but I worked with somebody who was really, really good at what they did. And the alcohol, they couldn't let go of the alcohol. So, you know, it didn't work out for that person.
Yep.
Which sucks, because that person probably could have had 15 shops, but the alcohol, she could never get over that. So
yeah, it's about the mindset, like I always say.
Mindset. What do you like what do you like the best about working at Culture? The
best that I like working at Culture is, I had mentioned it before, the freedom, you know? I like the like you said, the brotherhood we've accomplished, built, yeah. You know, we built, and now I have the key, you know, I get to open, and like you said, I'm responsible, you know, when I'm there and I get to close, I make sure everything is there in place, and it's something, barbering is something that it drives me, like I want to go to work, and I'm at a place where I'm comfortable working, and of course, I want to get my shop, of course, you know, I want to grow, you know, but I want to say it's a good place to work, because now I only seen it grow, but I've seen it growth with it, yeah. You know, and now I get to see how other people are coming in, and then they're growing as well. You know, I like, as crazy as it sounds, I know my boy Steven, he had his clients over there in Supreme Fades, mm-hmm. But when he jumped over here, I've seen his growth, even how fast he's became, mm-hmm. and how good he's became. Steven, Noel cut it, yeah, work. And mad respects to my boy. Yeah, I've seen it, you know, and I'm glad. You know, I'm the type of person that when I see people grow like that, I clap, because there was nobody too much around me, either in the barber industry to either. Right. Nobody. And I wasn't waiting for it. That's why I never lacked it on succeeding, because I cut hair for my clientele. I don't cut hair for barbers, you know? Right, yeah.
Exactly. I always tell barbers that too. Don't worry about the barber to your left or to your right, because they're at the end of the cut. Who's giving you the money, the barber or the person in your chair? You know, you could even see a mistake, and you know that the other barbers see it. Who cares? Because you're worried about this client and not the barbers next to you. That's good stuff, brother. I always tell people about your work ethic, and I tell them, you know, my guy Betho, he had a baby, and I think he was back at work maybe 4 days later, 4 days later. Like, I mean, I remember him saying, "My daughter's good. My baby mom, my wife's mom is there. I got to get to work. I got to get."
She wasn't working anymore, you know, and it's not like we get paid, you know, for time off, you know. And I wanted to be there, but at the same time, barbering gives you that freedom of like, hey, you know, I'll bust in the weekend, and I can be, you know, these 2 days with them. Yeah. And then again, I'll bust in the whole weekend. Yeah. And yeah.
So I try to run the business as if I was just a barber. You know what I mean? There's some owners around here, they won't give people the key. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? They don't let you come in after hours or.
That's a big plug right there from that shop right there.
I remember Rico's up in Temecula. when COVID had happened. Everybody had to get out, right? And then everybody came back, and then they had to get out. The owner up there told everybody up there, "You're fired if you go into that building." And it was like, whoa, how can we be independent? If there's a fine or if there's something and I choose to go in there, let me pay the fine. You know what I mean? Don't tell me I can't go in there. So with that being said, I just try to run the shop. Like everybody gets a key. Mal, one of the newer barbers, only been there 3 months. He's been seen cutting hair at 3:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
The other time the alarm went off. And then he called me because I tell him that sometimes I go to sleep late because of my kids. And I had just finished taking a shower. I'm like, what does this guy want, And I answer, and then he's like, hey, what's the code alarm? I got it backwards. I can't take it off. So I had to help him out. But yeah, he be going in hella late sometimes, but that's grinding right there.
When he posted that, I had posted it, reposted it. And he's like, oh, man, I thought you would be upset because I was in there so late. And I was like, bro, that's why I gave you the key, come and go. And like you said, just treat the building like it's yours. You know what I mean? I smoke in there after hours, smoke in there. But I don't do any other drugs. I don't do it. So if you get caught on camera doing any other drugs, that's a violation because that's not what I would do. Treat it. What's the Spanish term? Mi
casa es tu casa.
Mi casa su casa. There you
That's
go.
right.
My house is your house. You know what I mean? So that's a lesson for the barbershop owners. Don't be so grip tight on your business. You know what I mean? Like if you hire somebody, you gotta trust them.
Yeah, of course, overlook the people, but give them the freedom or like the opportunity to grow, because sometimes when you give that person the opportunity to grow, he's not the only one growing, but he helps you within the business to grow. And
exactly.
I think that's a plus for both,
I definitely understand that because I opened up another shop, and if I try to run you guys over there, it's like, damn, this guy's being aggressive. I would never be an owner like Rev. Rev, you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. What have you learned about yourself recently? I think we kind of touched on that, but do you got any more?
Yeah, I mean, well, pretty much what I just mentioned. And as crazy as you sound, I was so tunnel vision, like mentally, like, oh, I gotta get to this and that I never saw to the sides, and I never saw that people were looking at me and getting motivated. And sometimes I have messages where I have them, and I'll be like, hey, why is this guy telling me this? And now that I get it more often, and like financially, I help clients, like, not that I know a lot, but whatever I know, I share it, like how to use your credit, how it works. You've seen, when I bought my house, my credit was like 826, about 836, And of course, after I got the house, it went a little bit down, but I'm working my way up there again, and I get to share it with people,
So this is a guy from Culiacan, Mexico, who came over here in 9th grade.
Yeah.
He just told y'all he bought a house within 3 years.
Of barbering.
3 years of barbering. You heard the credit score. That's another topic. We'll get into that another time because we ain't got too much time. But, whoo, my guy, what's the best year of your life?
The best year of my life, I want to say when I became a citizen, bro.
So that was like right around when you started culture, right?
Yes, I was in culture. Remember, Steven was helping me out with my questions. And we were kind of like, damn, bro, even people that were born here didn't even know the answer
to the questions. You had to take a test.
And I had to take a test. Yeah, I went here in San Diego, and I went to do my test. And yeah, that was probably one of the things that, like I said, I've done all the big accomplishments, but this one it was the one that, it was just imaginary for me.
Right.
It wasn't like, for me, that tunnel vision was whatever I wanted to do, but the papers and all that just came in, like my paperwork, my immigration paperwork came in just like, I'm not gonna say it's so easy, but some other people I see that it takes years, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why I always put that I have somebody higher than me, and I always pray for him. And I mean, he's helped me, and since then, I mean, for me, that was one of the miracles things, because I never had it in my mind, bro. That's why I even started driving in my sophomore year, because I was already had to work on the side after high school. I always to wash plates, and I told my parents, "Where am I gonna get a license? I mean, I don't have a social, and I'm paying for the bus and all this, and I get there late to work, and I get late to here."
Right.
I need a car. And then everybody that knows me since then, my boys, they know I've been driving. I used to park in Rancho, but outside in Albertsons, and then other little places where I would find it was a little safe. And I mean, yeah, bro, that's for me one of the biggest things, because in that time, I never thought it was possible. And it just unlocked something in my mind that it just tells me that anything that I put right here and the focus that I always had, is gonna work out.
Yeah, definitely. You're a big inspiration to a lot of people. I mean, as I am, as you are. Like I said, as for me, I'm further than I would ever imagined. You know what I mean? Like, I never seen somebody have 2 shops, or actually Los Panchos, they got 3 shops, but I never seen a black man own multiple shops. You know what I mean? So what I was trying to basically get at is, you're doing better than you could ever have imagined being a barber, right?
Yes.
You've doubled the 56,000.
Yes. Like I said, at some point, I didn't really believe in it, but once I took that decision to flip that coin, I was mentally focused, like I said, and it's gonna work out. And that's one thing I did say. If I'm gonna get out of this 9 to 5, it's not to win the same. Either double it or I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do, you know? But I gotta double my income, you know? And like I said, I was so focused. I've been, like I said, so hard worker, you know, that it's been working, and it's not nothing crazy. It's hard working. You just gotta stay consistent, you know?
Hard work, stay consistent. Work ethic.
Work ethic, that's everything, bro. That's everything.
Work ethic and mindset.
Because I know I'm not the best barber ever, you know? There's better barbers, you know? But tell me, like, who else is responsible, you know? Not to say it like that, but there's more to just a clean fade. That's what I want to say is, yes, clean fade, that's probably what that's the most basic thing that you should have in your portfolio.
Right.
That's like, okay, you know how to do a clean fade? Okay.
What next?
Okay, you know yeah. You're a barber. Yeah,
that's
your job.
10. That's
your job to do a clean fade, you know? And if you're doing your job, you're just doing the regular, you know? So what else? Like, are you promoting? Are you, for example, I paid for this to become, you know, my little logo, you know, with the letters and all that. And like I said, I didn't do it myself, but the idea came from me, you know. When it was slow, you saw me, you know, go put them outside. I promote it, you know, stick them here, stick them there. The hats. I remember when I was in there, that's when I had the one in the middle with the kind of like the Death Row Records looking one. And I'm like, whoa, I'm a little more around colored people. Let me be more friendly. Let me put, you know.
There you go.
I put that on, and people were like, no, that's my barber name.
It ain't got nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's little stuff that, like I said, every little thing that I've done now that I became a barber, I have a plan, you know. And I do it with, you know, always with the faith that it's going to hit. And thank God, you know, I take out some hats and they blow. You know, I don't do too much sometimes, you know, but the people hit me up and, hey, bro, let me get one.
Get some gear.
Yeah.
Speak on that. Does the clothing help you? Does it actually help your name get out there?
Of course, yeah, because sometimes I get a photo of a guy at a bar with
I was just going to say, I go to Temecula sometime, remember? And I see your picture like, hey, Kalichi Fade sighting.
Yeah, or they have a hat, you know, and it's cool that they have it there. And it's more cool that other person recognize it and they take the photo.
A picture, yeah.
You know, and I'm very grateful for that whoever shares my name, whoever gives me a like, whoever sends me anybody or gives me a good word of mouth.
Review.
I'm very thankful because that's what builds me as a barber, you know?
Yeah. I always say, new barbers, brand yourself.
Yes.
Make merchandise. Wear your clothes every day. Get your girlfriend to wear her clothes. Get your girlfriend's friends to wear their clothes. Get anybody to wear it. Hell, force your kid to wear it because as a barber, you don't get no raise, right?
No.
You got to get more clients.
Yep.
Or you can raise your prices like a lot of people do, but, you know, then clients start to see through that. Like, bro, I was giving you 50, now I'm giving you 75, and I still haven't got anything, you know, up out of it. So
I feel like you got to recompensate for that. And like, don't get me wrong, you know, you see me like wearing this brand or whatever right now, but it's more for image wise, you know. I knew I was going to take a video, and that's why I brought it in, you know, but you see me all the time this is actually my shirt. This is not for sale. You know, this,
Right, yeah.
that's what I wear. You know, all the hats that I have, you have not seen me wearing all the type of hats that my hats, you know?
Exactly.
And that's what I always say. Before you buy all these clothes, make sure you have the money for it.
Right.
Don't look like you have it.
Right.
Have it. You know? So if you have it, cool. But if you just portraying something that you're not, that's when it's wrong, you know? So first, like I said, before betting in anything or putting money in anybody's boutique pockets, anything,
Bet on yourself.
bet on yourself. Put it on your name. Because it's proof. I have a full closet of that. I have a lot that I use, you know? Shirts that like I said, that, like these ones I saved, you know, shirts that I use in every day. And I have my logo everywhere. Even where I put the water dispenser, I put a big sticker right there that says Culichi Face, you know?
Don't let it go unseen.
Yeah.
Make it be known.
Make people know, let people know, sorry, that you're there. Because if there's 50,000 people that are not promoting, and in between those 50,000 people, you're the only one here,
There you go.
as bad as it sounds, somebody around got to see you, you know? Somebody, you just raise your hand by promoting, you know, between the people that's not doing it.
And I was going to say about promoting, I'll say this. A lot of people don't promote because they feel like it's bragging. And I ain't going to lie. I post every day for the last 5 years, literally every day. And sometimes I do feel like I'm bragging, but you still got to post. You
still got to post. And I see sometimes some of the older barbers making fun of it, you know? Like, about like, oh, how new barbers be promoting. And that's not even how a new barber, that's how every barber should be promoting.
Should be promoting.
New, old.
Who else is going to promote you?
Who else is going to promote you? You know,
You're
like.
independent. That happened in my old shop a lot. We would get people complaining about, man, it ain't no clients, it ain't no clients, it ain't no clients. But then as soon as the owner says, do this or do that, what is the very first thing they say? I'm independent. All right. Well, if you're independent, you can't choose when you're independent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're independent, then you got to go out there and get your own clientele.
That's another thing that I always put it, like the clientele, I put it on my back. Like, I'm responsible for my chair to be filled.
Yeah.
Because you got to look for your clientele too, you know? You got to promote. And I remember sometimes I would post just the word promote. Because it's something that you just got to put it here. It's something got to be just natural, you know? It doesn't you don't got to be ashamed. Because like I said, you just got to put your name out there. You got to, the most money you have that you want to spend on other things, don't think about it. Don't think about that. Think about throwing in your name, you know?
Exactly. I try not to spend any money unless it's going to bring me money back. Well, unless it's on my child. But anything I spend a bunch of money on, that whatever it may be, needs to come back. Like if I spend on stickers, I need to slap enough stickers to where I spend $200 on stickers, I need $200 out of stickers back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, couple closing questions. What can people expect from you next?
What can people expect from me? They can expect from me a little more presence online. You know, after this video, I wanna connect more with people online. I wanna
maybe start a YouTube, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a YouTube or share more things on Instagram or TikTok, which is hitting. Just share more of the little bit knowledge that I've been gaining, and the knowledge that I'm able to portray, you know, or show, you know, and help out people because I know everybody has somebody that they look up to, you know, and I know I have a good story, like we mentioned, and I know I have a good work ethic, and I know I have some clean work that I can show that people can learn from, you know, and I'm not saying that I know everything, but whatever I know, I'm willing to share it, you know.
You say you have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids.
Would you recommend, not recommend, would you recommend your kids to be barbers?
Of course.
Yeah?
I would.
Because there's a lot of parents that be like, I wouldn't want my kid to do this shit. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't mind if they grew up and said, hey, I want to be a barber.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind either or.
And
my girls and my boys. A boy and 2 girls.
Boy, 2 girls.
Because I feel like it's better to be working as a barber and make your own time. Let's say as a freedom, you know? And let's say you want to become a doctor, you need to go to school for certain hours, you adjust your schedule to that. You instead of working at a McDonald's after so many hours of work, go bust 5 haircuts, you know?
There you go.
become efficient and do 4 or 5
So even
haircuts.
if you want to be higher than a barber, a doctor,
of
lawyer,
course.
get your. That's what I want to do with my daughter. Get your barber license or get your license, and use that as a stepping stone. You don't have to be a barber or a Cosmo your whole life.
Like for me,
use that to step.
Like for me, the ladder that I said was my 9 to 5 that I used. You know, but barbering can be the ladder too for somebody to want to maybe be something different or bigger or however they want to see.
Are you still paying for school now, or you paid it off?
I paid off my school.
All off.
And Travis knows it. You know, I came in with the idea of like I'm gonna get it done. I never missed a payment, and I think 3 months before I was done with school, I had paid it.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
And my school, like I said, it wasn't the most expensive at that time, but also not the cheapest, and there was no help, like government help or nothing, because Travis wasn't accepting those
financial aid. That's what I pay. I'm still 8 years later. I still pay $50 a month to FIFA or FAFSA or whoever.
That's right.
How can listeners support you, your work? Where can they buy the merch?
Well, to support me, I would suggest people just to help me out with a follow, with a like, sharing, word of mouth, you know, from my clientele as well. And for my merch, I like to do more like, what is it called? Like drops, you know?
Drops.
Like I do this little drop.
So it isn't available all the time. You got to catch it.
You just got to catch it when I take it out, because yes, I do it for the people, you know, but I feel like right now I build so much people asking me for these hats. Mm-hmm. That builds the they want it. So when I take them out, even though sometimes the first week they don't sell right. Right. But I don't know where the second week, everybody wants.
You're building anticipation.
Yes, they kind of were like, oh yeah, I want it. Like I build let's wait for this guy, you know, to take it out.
Right. Kind of like the Jordans.
Yeah, like that, like a little drop, or like I seen a Supreme done little stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Do you have actual merch they can pick up at the barbershop when it does drop? That's where.
Yeah. That's where I culture.
You want to shout out the barbershop and
you can pick up some merch.
Your shout out your Instagram and shout out the barbershop address and phone, all that.
So my Instagram name is Culichi Fates. It's CulichiFades. Culichi Fates. And the barbershop I work at, it's Culture. Culture Barber Lounge is at 3901 Vista Way.
3910.
3910 Vista Way. Sorry, I always use the copy and paste on the, you know me. I even use your hashtags. If you pay attention to my boys' hashtags, they're pretty similar. Since the ones that you send me, I just kind of like add
and switch them out.
And switch them a little bit, but they're almost the same, you know?
It's a new era now. Hashtags ain't really working now.
No, now it's more like selecting. Shout out to everybody that has supported me as my clients. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my parents that have helped me out a lot. And anybody that has sit in my chair, I say thank you, you know, because you've put something in my pocket. And I'm very thankful for that, because I feel like I've done the right thing with the money that you've put in my pocket, you know. Not only for me, but for my family, you know. So I'm very thankful for everything that you guys done. Shout out to Tage. Shout out to everybody that works with me. And shout out to everybody that in one way or another claps for me, supports me, and thank you again.
Lastly, I was going to say, I believe like when clients give barbers money, right, for a haircut, there's some barbers who think, it doesn't matter what, they paid me for a haircut and now it doesn't matter what I do with the money. And I'm a firm believer in, I think you are too, and showing the clients what I'm doing with the money. Like, you know what I mean? You could have been a drug addict and bought a bunch of drugs instead of buying a house. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think you would have less clientele because, dang, this person's not doing nothing with the money. There's some clients that I have and they come tell me, hey, I've had the same barber 15 years. I've been giving this dude money for 15 years. And he doesn't have a car, or, he's on this or on that. So I was just saying kudos to you because you do post and you do show, hey, if you guys pay me, I'm out buying merch. Yeah. I'm taking care of my family. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm taking care of my wife.
Yes, you're right.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do with the money. You know what I mean?
You're right on that because like I always mentioned, before I buy anything that I could buy for myself, Mm-hmm. I put a lot on the table for them, you know.
There you
And
go.
I put all the time, you know. I even get 2 cards from Costco. You know how expensive Costco could get, you know. And I go there weekly, and after that I still go to Aldi, you know, and buy the meat and buy here and buy there. And like I said, yes, I do put a lot on my promotion, and I always want to say, don't let all this promotion also drive you, you know, somewhere else, you know. See what's behind, you know. And
See
that's
what's
what I
behind.
put, that I always take care of my kids, that the days that I have off or the days that I can, you know, I go ahead and take my son, and
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's a blessing, bro. Before I couldn't do that because I used to get in very early at work, you know. And now I get to do that. It's freedom. It's nice.
I heard
love
Sean
it.
say that that you know it's good that he can bring his son to work, whereas when he had his 9 to 5, he would be at work so early, and he couldn't take his son to work. So that's it's a blessing to be able to give people that opportunity. You know what I mean? So super blessing. Is there anything else you want to say to the world of YouTube and Instagram and wherever else we try to toss this? We shouted out Mr. Tempo. We shouted out Belief. I will say this too. Watching your family and watching Belief and Fatherhood's family, I've always been the player type, you know, I'm just going to sleep here, sleep there type. But at watching, you know, Belief's family and knowing your story, like, dang, this dude literally, like, doesn't have her pay any of the bills or anything. She just takes, and that's kind of old fashioned, you know what I mean? So I will say kudos to you, kudos to Belief,
Thank you.
because you guys make me want to say, you know what, I need to have an actual wife, some kids, and set my ass down somewhere, especially because of my age, you know what I mean? So kudos to that. But is there anything else you want to say to the world before we get up out of here?
Something I would like to say to the world is, or anybody that could hear me,
Anybody's watching.
I would say to stop living like you're gonna live 200 years. Tomorrow's not promised, you know.
Tomorrow's not promised.
And if you leave the stuff that you really need to do, if you leave your principles at the end, that tells a lot about you, you know. And it shows in life. You can hide it maybe a little bit, but then it shows, you know. So what I want to say too is bet on yourself, like I said earlier. Don't let other people's opinions affect you, because at the end of the day, that's an opinion. And as much as that they can say, it cannot affect you, because if you know your goals, you know where you're standing. It shouldn't matter, because tunnel vision is everything.
Vision. You heard it here first. Kalichi Fades. My guy bought a house in 3 years, cutting hair. If anybody sees this
3 years.
podcast and has a better success story than that, write me, write Kalichi, write Icon, because I want to hear it. I don't know anybody else that bought a house in 3 years. People always tell me, hey, I don't know anybody who got their own shop in 5 years. I don't know anybody who's bought a house in 3 years. Shit, I've been a barber 8 years. I still don't have a house. I short sold my last house, and I'm still been trying to get a house since then. I need to stop opening up cultures and then just buy a house. And my little greedy kid over there start eating McDonald's every damn day.
And that's another thing too, that saves a lot of money. Grocery shopping. As much as I said that I go to Costco and it's this much, if you do counts of how much you spend maybe eating out every day, it's a big impact on your income.
Yeah.
So have your wife or yourself cook, and you would save a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Be smart with your money.
Lonche, que le echen lonche, plebada.
Anyway, we're going to tag Kalichi Fades and everything that we got on here. If you guys want to find out how he got the house in 3 years, mindset, work ethic, any of that. If you want to find out how he got any of his merch, his stickers. Hell, if you just want to follow him, he posts every day.
Yeah. I'm an open book.
Yeah,
I'm an open
showing haircuts, open book. Transparent.
Yes,
you know what
transparent.
I mean? Transparent, tangible. Like I said, I fuck with this dude really because he's just like me as far as work ethic. Like, go to work, be at work, you know what I mean? 10 o'clock, nobody's there, he's still there at 10.
Okay.
6:30, nobody's there, he's still there at 6:30, you know what I mean? You gotta work.
And even though before, when I was still here in Vista, before I got my house, I had chances to just say, fuck it, I'm gonna go home. Oh, sorry, I said bad word.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna go home. But no, I always, and I share that with Ari and with other people that are new too. It's just respect to the chair, you know, respect to your work and respect to yourself, because you already committed to invest this much time, invest it, you know? You know, if you already came out with, I'm gonna invest this much, do it, you know? Don't short yourself, you know? Do it. And maybe at the beginning, you don't get somebody, but if you're there, you get somebody. That somebody is gonna recommend to anybody somebody else, and that's gonna lead to something else, you know, and then that's gonna lead to more promotion, and that's how it works. You know, you gotta be there. You gotta be there because I'm a living proof, you know, that you got to be there. You know,
I'm living proof too, brother. Like
you
I
too.
said,
No, and I, bro, and shout out to you. I want to say one thing, that when I started. Also too, remember I used to go for a little bit when I was still in school for a bit. And Travis used to tell me all the time, you know, you need to be efficient, you need to be fast. And I used to do a haircut or two and thinking that was good and fast. And I would turn around to you and my boy had 4 or 3 haircuts out. I was like, okay, you know, there's more than just an Instagram clean fade, you know?
Right.
There's also business into this, you know, which, like I said, I've surrounded myself with good people, and I'm glad that people like you and Travis have opened doors for me, and I'm very thankful for also to the people that support me through this path.
I appreciate you, brother. Prolonging the good habits. Like I said, anybody who works at any culture, I always suggest, hey, write down how much you make. Write down how much you make. Write down how much you make. And I always get barbers, oh, well, why should I write down how much I make? I'm paying my bills. And I'm like, bro, write down how much you make.
You gotta know how much you're doing, because everything is numbers, you know? When you do your taxes, numbers. When you get paid, numbers. You know, when you gas, miles, numbers. I mean,
everything's numbers.
You know, man can lie, numbers don't lie, you know? So numbers is what
new barbers, write down how much you make. Write down how much you make. Even if you're not making a lot. I can go back 5 years ago when I was making $40 because the haircuts was $15. I cut 3 people today. I made $45. And then you'll see your growth. You know what I mean? Post, if you're not the best at cutting hair, still post it, or at least take photos and take videos. And if you don't post it, you'll have it in your own phone. You know what I mean? Caliche Fades, Culture One, OG Culture.
OG Culture.
He's the very last cheer on the right. We out of here.
All right,
appreciate you, sir.